You're watching the WINFL show with me, Ian McKinnon. I'm joined by Patrick Jackson and our returning guest, friend of the podcast. Love to have you on, JaguarGator9. Colin, how are you doing?
I am doing all right. Just getting pumped for the Super Bowl. It is like so close, yet so far away. It's like I just need this game to happen already.
I know that the week in between with the corpse of a Pro Bowl that we have these days, it's so long. The 2 weeks from the championship games to the Super Bowl. But Colin, you're a Jags fan, as is Patrick, and your Jaguars had a hell of a year with Liam Cohen. In fact, when we were handing out our own awards, I gave Liam Cohen the Coach of the Year award, considering that you didn't even have your top draft pick for most of the season. But Colin, let's get your views on your Jacksonville Jaguars 2025 season, and of course, what you're going to be looking for in 2026.
Yeah, I've never been more optimistic about this team in my life. I am so happy with the way things went this year, other than the playoff loss, obviously. 13 wins, most we've had since 99, 8-game winning streak to end the regular season. Keep in mind that for most of my life, we would finish below 500 every single year. Trying to think from 2008 to 2021, we only had one season with more than 8 wins, and to have an 8-game winning streak just felt surreal. Trevor Lawrence played out of his mind this year. The second half of the season, once he got the playbook down, and once we got Jacoby Myers, that was a great trade. Everyone started catching the ball again. Parker Washington emerged, and once he started going with the wristband on, or the playbook on his wristband, and everything changed. And Trevor really looked elite. He was making some throws that made him seem like the generational quarterback that we thought he was going to be when we drafted him in 21. Obviously, there are some holes, but I think they're going to be fixed pretty easily. I like what James Gladstone's done. Travis Hunter comes back next year. Caleb Branshaw didn't even have him. What's impressive about this year is that I don't want to say it was largely the same roster as last year, but for the most part, we didn't have our first round pick. Second round pick we traded away to get Travis Hunter. Third round pick was Caleb Branshaw, and he was out for the entire season on IR. So even without big capital contributions, big draft capital contributions, this team still went from 4 wins to 13 wins and improved that much. And now you have a full off season to work with Gladstone and Cohen. Lawrence is a second year under the offense. You know what works, you know what didn't work. You've cleared up some space with contracts. I feel like Walker Little's going to be gone, and that's going to clear up some more space. The future is bright in Jacksonville, and I have very rarely felt that way about the Jaguars, but this feels sustainable. 2017 was fun, but you always have the feeling back in mind that, okay, well, Blake Bortles is going to come back down to earth at some point, and this defense is not sustainable. And 2022 felt really good, but you also have the thing in the back of your mind that, okay, Trent Baalke is still there. He could still find a way to mess things up. This is the first time this feels sustainable that we could have back-to-back years of success, and I'm really looking forward to next year. We're going to be one of the favorites. I never thought I'd say that.
Well, Patrick, I mean, you're a Jags fan, obviously, as well, and the Jags do have to be one of the favourites. I mean, certainly for their division, and going into the next year, getting Travis Hunter back, as was already mentioned, there is a lot to look forward to for these Jaguars and the Jaguars fans. I mean, what's your quick thoughts on it?
I mean, absolutely. I'd agree with every word that Colin just said. That I predicted 11-6, beating the Texans by half a game in our preseason review of the division, and that felt like extremely optimistic view of what our season could be. So the fact that they exceeded that by 2 games, despite all of the injuries and stuff, was very impressive. And it feels like they've set a good foundation that they can build on as well. They know what they need to fix. We were talking to Ben recently, the Bears fan, and I think the clubs are in a very similar position in that the playoff loss gives this massive cloud of disappointment at the missed opportunity. But once you get through the haze of that, you get to this, okay, but they missed that opportunity, but it feels like there's definitely going to be more in the near future based on what they've got and what they need to build on that. Because to build to a competitive team from where they are is so much closer than where they were when Owen and Gladstone first came in the building, and the fact that they now have an entire off-season together to work rather than being brought in towards the end of January, right, where last year, should make a big difference as well into what they could achieve in a full off-season.
Yeah, and Colin, this year probably did wonders for Trevor Lawrence because obviously he'd signed the massive contract, but he still had a lot of doubters around the league and people thinking, I don't even know if he's worth that money, but he had a spectacular year. And just seemed to get stronger and stronger as the year went on. And what's your thoughts then on Trevor Lawrence? Because obviously, as I say, huge contract. At the time when it was signed, a lot of folk were thinking, well, is he as good as this? But now when you look at the other quarterbacks earning similar money to Trevor, you've got to say, he probably did more than most of them.
Yeah, he's the first Jaguar player to ever be named an MVP finalist. I mean, the guy played out of his mind the second half of the season. And I think what really turned the tide was Travis Hunter getting injured. And I love Travis Hunter, but I think without Hunter getting injured, the Jaguars don't make that trade for Jacoby Myers. And when we made that trade for Myers, everything changed. Because Trevor was looking all right in the first half of the season, but he wasn't playing the best. But a part of it was the fact that everyone was dropping everything. No one could go over the middle. Every pass that Trevor threw in a tight window, the receivers never came down with it. And there were some bad drops. Brian Thomas, in particular, did not have a great first half of the season. You got Jacoby Myers from the Raiders. You get a 4th and a 6th round pick, which I thought was phenomenal business. The Jaguars traded Tank Bigsby to the Eagles for 2 day 3 picks. And Bigsby was never going to play this year. I like the guy a lot, but behind Etienne and LaQuinn Allen and Tudor, he was never going to play this year. So we get 2 day 3 picks for Bigsby. Trade those 2 day 3 picks for Jacoby Myers, and he becomes our wide receiver 1. I think he dropped maybe 2 passes all season when he came to Jacksonville. He was catching everything. They had immediate chemistry right off the bat. And now you think with a full playbook, because Myers, it's tough to learn a playbook in the middle of the season. I can't imagine what it's going to be like next season, the connection between the two. And you locked him down to a long-term contract. Lawrence looked very comfortable throwing to him. And the other thing was that when Hunter went down, Parker Washington was able to step up. I'm not sure he was getting a lot of playing time before that. So now you look at next year with Trevor Lawrence, and you think, okay, this year he was an MVP finalist. First year with a new playbook, new coach, new everything. Had to rebuild his mechanics from the ground up. Didn't even have a full offseason because of the surgery that he had. And now you go into next season, you know the playbook, you have Travis Hunter coming back, you have Brian Thomas, you have Jacoby Myers with the full playbook, and you have Parker Washington. I mean, the sky's the limit for this guy. I mean, we could be talking about Trevor Lawrence as the MVP next season. And I never thought I'd say that. But it's possible. It is very much possible.
Oh, absolutely, it's possible. I mean, you don't get to be an MVP finalist without playing spectacularly well, which he did. I mean, I saw it firsthand with the game in Denver, where Lawrence was doing things that no other quarterback had done to that defense. And it really showed a lot of maturity from Lawrence and a real development over, you even go back to like 2 years ago. He looks like a different guy. There was always flashes with Lawrence, but he looks like a different player now. Much more rounded, much more polished. And I think you've got an awful lot to look forward to going into next season. But Colin, we do have one final game to talk about. It's the Super Bowl. The Seahawks and the Patriots. Now, we will get your score prediction for that. The trophy on the line here, if you get it, whoever gets closest. And but give me your very quick thoughts on the championship games themselves, and then what you're sort of expecting as a matchup in the Super Bowl before you give us your actual score prediction.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of the Patriots, because on one hand, their defense is playing lights out. Their defense is forcing a lot of turnovers, getting a lot of pressure. Kayvon Chaisson, former Jaguar, he looks like a changed man. He looks really good. I like what Christian Gonzalez is doing, what Chaisson's doing. That run defense now that Bill Williams is back has been stout. They have not allowed anything on the ground. It's been really fun to watch in that capacity. On the other hand, Drake May has not played the best football. He's turned the ball over a lot. He's not making the throws. This is a guy that led the league in completion percentage this year and passer rating. And he has not thrown above 60% completion in any of his 3 games so far this postseason. So Yes, he has played against tough defenses. He's gone up against 3 top 5 defenses this season. The path to get there has been really tough from a defensive standpoint, even if the offenses that they've had to face have not been the best. The Seahawks are another great defense, but this one has a great offense, and I'm not sure the Patriots are well balanced enough. I think they dodged a bullet in Denver with some poor coaching on Sean Payton's part. I think they dodged a bullet. And the bad shanks that Bryce Behringer had, he had 4 punts that were under 40 yards. There were some really bad shanks. I don't think you can get away with that against the Seahawks or against most teams. And then as for Seattle, this is a team, I always thought Seahawks-Rams was the real Super Bowl. I thought those were the 2 best teams in the NFL all season, and the third game lived up to the hype and then some. Sam Darnold looks incredible. My concern with Darnold entering this season was which version were we going to get? The version from the first 16 games last season or the version from the final 2 games where he looked like a pumpkin and folded under pressure? And Darnold's looked composed. Rashid Shaheed has added a whole nother element to this offense and the special teams unit. And what's incredible about this team is that, and the job that John Schneider has done, who I think is a Hall of Fame executive, is that the Seahawks have 5 receivers on their roster. 3 of them caught a touchdown the last game. One of them was Cooper Kupp, who made some beautiful grabs, and the other one is Young, who had the play when Xavier Smith muffed the ball to get down the field and recover the fumble. So everyone's contributing. This team has so much depth. And even with Charbonnet out, Kenneth Walker's been running like crazy on everyone. He's having a postseason to remember. This Seahawks team is so well-rounded, so good. I knew the moment they played the Jaguars and they forced, I think, 33 pressures on 40 dropbacks, that this team was something special. And especially going up against the Patriots' offensive line. But Will Campbell has not had a great postseason at all. He's been a human turnstile, it feels like, in many ways. I think the Seahawks are the much better team, and I think the NFC Championship was the real Super Bowl.
I mean, yeah, we've talked, people have spoken ad nauseum about the Patriots' route to the Super Bowl, considering, like, you know, who have they played all season. But there's no bad teams when you get to the playoffs, and then they face the 32nd ranked offensive line and 31st ranked offensive line and a backup quarterback.
Yep.
And you're like, yes, those were. I mean, CJ Stroud had the worst game I've ever seen from him. It was appallingly bad. And then you go up against Jared Stidham and you think, but the Seahawks are a different animal altogether. I'm not saying the Patriots can't win, of course they can, but it's going to be a big ask for them. So, Colin, we would like you to give us a score prediction to see how close you can get it to the correct score. Trophy on the line.
27-20 Seahawks.
27-20 to the Seahawks. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, we've not done ours yet, myself and Patrick. Jake will be doing ours in midweek. We'll be giving ours, but that's 2 predictions we've had now, Patrick, both for the Seahawks. Don't think that's massively surprising. I think most people are expecting a Seahawks win, or maybe they're just hoping for one, because we do not want another Patriots dynasty going on.
No, can't do it.
you had 20 years. You had 20 years. You're not getting any more, right? Most people get 15 minutes of fame. You had 2 decades. Enough. Stop with that. But there you go. Right, so that is Colin's prediction. Thank you very much, Colin. Now, do you have a random stat for us?
Yes, I do. So, we're going to go to the Super Bowl for this one, because why not? The Minnesota Vikings made 4 Super Bowls. Made it to Super Bowl 4 against the Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl 8 against the Miami Dolphins, Super Bowl 9 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Super Bowl 11 against the Oakland Raiders. Now, obviously, they have not won either of those games. They're 0-4 in the Super Bowl. What is crazy about that is that the Vikings never led in any of those games. 4 Super Bowls, never had a lead. But it gets even crazier, because the Minnesota Vikings, in the first half of those Super Bowls, scored a combined 0 points.
Oh.
I don't know how that's possible. you play 4 Super Bowls, you don't get a single point. In fact, it got to a point where opposing defenses across those 4 games in the first half actually outscore the Vikings offense in those 4 games, because at Super Bowl 9, it was 2-0 at the half because Dwight White sacked Fran Tarkenton in the end zone for a safety. So across the first half of the 4 Super Bowls the Vikings played in, opposing defenses scored more points than the Vikings did, who scored 0.
That's insane.
It's a phenomenal stat.
That's unbelievable. I mean, you mentioned it. Fran Tarkenton. It's not like he was a bum.
No,
Hall of Fame. He was a Hall of Famer. He was one of the best quarterbacks of his era. You know,
in Super Bowl 4 with Joe Cap, he was close to the MVP that year. He was second in the voting for MVP.
That's insane. That might be the most mind-blowing stat I've ever heard. 4 Super Bowls, 0 points in the first half, and actually allowed 2.
Yep.
Oh my word! -2 points by the offense in 4 games. That's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous stat, Colin. I don't even know what to make of that. Patrick, any comments on that one?
I mean, phenomenal. I love a random stat that builds and just keeps getting more and more incredulous. Like, yeah, all right. So they lost 4. We all knew that. They've never led in the. They've never led. What? That sounds crazy. How did that happen? They've never scored in the first half. What? Yeah, brilliant random stat.
At least the Bills they were close in 25. They led, and then 28 they led at the half.
Yeah.
26 and 27 they never had a shot, but 25 and 28 they had a shot. The Vikings just laid an egg right away.
Unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Poor old Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
I mean, they had some incredible teams. When you look at those rosters of those Vikings, look, I mean, the defense, the Purple People Eaters, my word. And then when you think that, was it not Larry Zonka set the Super Bowl record for rushing yards against them? And then Franco Harris broke that record against the Vikings. They just failed to turn up during the Super Bowl. It's absolutely mental. Crazy. Thank you, Colin, for the stat. That's absolutely brilliant. Now, the Super Bowl itself, where will you be watching that from? Will you be watching it at home, or are you going to some sort of venue?
So I throw a massive party in my place every year. So I throw a massive party with decorations. I deck the place out. I've already got some of the decorations coming in. I got one of these right here, this Super Bowl 60 banner. And it's just, it's a lot of stuff that comes in. So.
Oh, it's amazing.
I go just all Patriots, Seahawks merch. I decorate the ceilings, decorate the walls. It's wall-to-wall coverage. I've been throwing a party like that for the past 15, 16 years, and I love doing it. So hopefully one of these days I don't have to throw the party because I'll be at the game because the Jaguars are in it. But until they do, we're just going to keep throwing this party.
Oh, quite right. Well, as I was saying before we went live, Patrick, if you look behind Colin there, the helmets, all the various helmets, including some gorgeous throwbacks. I mean, they are just stunning. That Seattle one, the Patriots with Pat the Patriot on it, they were great. Colin, what's your favourite throwback uniform of any team?
Ooh, favorite throwback. I mean, the Rams of the 70s and the 80s were classics.
That's nice.
Just go back to those.
Yeah, actually, they were lovely. I remember Jim Everett slinging it around in those absolutely stunning. Eric Dickerson running the ball with that blue and yellow. The color coordination on that color combo was sensational. Don't know why I understand, why the Rams might change the design. Well, we all know why they do it. It's for money, so they can sell jerseys. But they should have kept the color scheme. Because the new colors just aren't as vivid. They just don't pop. It doesn't work. That's absolutely true. Patrick, while we're on this, what's your favourite throwback uniform? Do you have one?
I mean, obviously the Jags Prowler has got to be up there.
Yeah.
I do like the which one am I thinking of? The Seahawks one that came out. That looks really nice.
Yeah, the Seahawks throwbacks. I mean, obviously I'm biased. I'm taking the Broncos throwbacks every single time. But I love the Patriots one. The colours of it, I just love it. And I also love the Bills when they wore it with the red helmets and the blue jerseys. I think that's nice. I don't like the white helmets in Buffalo. I don't like it. But it's personal preference. That's all it is. Personal preference. Well, Colin, we won't keep you. We know you're a very, very busy man. But a huge thanks for coming back on the podcast. And if your score is correct, or closer than anyone else, you will be getting awarded the trophy from the WINFL show. We'll get that sent out to you. And of course, we'd love to speak to you pre-draft as well.
Absolutely.
That'd be good in the off-season there, because it's an awful lot to look forward to going into 2026. So once again, huge thank you, Colin.
Appreciate you a ton. Yeah, it's going to be weird for the draft. We don't have a first-round pick for the first time ever, so it'll be interesting. But
I forgot about that. You don't have a first round.
First time ever.
That's a first time ever.
Yep.
Wow.
Bonus random stat for you.
There you go. There you go. Fantastic as a bonus random stat. There you go. Well, you'll have to enjoy the day 2 then, the Friday. But I'm still, hey, you might trade up. You can always trade back into the first round. That's the thing. That's the thing. Oh, very quickly, Patrick. Do you think Mendoza is going first overall to the Raiders, like most people do? Can't really see past that,
It seems
can
pretty
you?
locked in, doesn't it? But until they hire their head coach, how do you know? Like, he's got to have a massive way into that decision, but I can't see why you'd go any other way given what else they've got on their roster.
Yeah, and Colin, regarding the head coach position, who do you think's the best fit over there in Las Vegas? It seems to be the one that a lot of people are talking about. Nobody seems to know who's actually going to be there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Kubiak. I think Kubiak. It's down to Vegas and Arizona, and I think you got the better quarterback in Vegas, got better ownership, better divisions to compete in, because the NFC West is going to be just 3-headed Hydra at this point. Better GM. Yeah, Kubiak to the Raiders. I think you got to go offensive mind for Mendoza.
If a guy called Kubiak is coaching the Raiders, I don't know if I could deal with that as a Broncos fan. Oh, no, that would be terrible. Terrible. Awful. I don't like that. You've upset me now, Colin. That's terrible. Shocking. Well, listen, once again, thank you very much for coming on, Colin. We'll see you next time, and I really hope you enjoy the Super Bowl and enjoy your party. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys as always.